This is Daniel with Backline Insurance, representative quote and apply software here. Thank you for taking the time to go through the platform with us here today. Going to keep it brief. We're just going to go through some product types and some different usages. It's important to say there's two separate components here. So we have quote and apply. So that is a consumer and agent facing application software. This can be hosted from your website, from a social media page, or you can mark it as an individual link. There's also the Backline Dashboard. And so that's going to be the agency management portal. This is what you're going to use to oversee your business. You can manage the business here with commissions, different downline options, as well as interact with our back office team. So if you ever need quotes ran for different product types or a hard to place impaired risk case, you can do that business here. So this is for quote and apply. This is our demo website here, intelligentquote.com. Please feel free to play around on here and get familiar with the platform. There's also some different resources here on that website. And so if I scroll on down here, we can see some different information about it, how it works. We do have a YouTube channel that will explain the different video types. And then some frequently asked questions here as well. Everything I'm going to show you today comes at no cost for you as the agent. We as a general agency, we're going to go ahead and allow you the different tools that you need to grow your business. So getting started here, this is the quote and apply software. So this is what will be housed from your website or market independently. It's going to be fully customized. So you can put in a different image here, change the verbiage. You can also adjust the different product types that are shown and the minimums that are displayed. So getting started here, we're just going to go through the process very quick. All right, so this is the quote and apply software. This is the demo website, so we're going to go ahead and go through the demos right now. So this can be fully customized. You can put your logo right here. You have a sample client as the name, and we're just going to go through some different product types and do a quick introduction to the platform. So we're going to start off with some simple questions here. It's going to go male or female, general health. So this is from standard poor up through super preferred. We have different ratings here, so different percentages to give you an idea of who's going to be accepted through these rates. Nicotine or marijuana use previously. So we do have some different options here. So based on your current usage or previous usage, you'll just select what type. And this is a learning software. So as you put in the different credentials, such as the height and weight, general health, and smoking, it's going to automatically appropriate the best carrier for that risk automatically. And so go in here, we can go height and weight, and date of birth. So right away, we're going to get some medium quotes here for the different types. So it starts with term and permanent. And so this software is set up to have two separate categories. So under term, we're going to have different options. And so you can see the accidental death, a non-medical term, return of premium, and also the term. And so if we look at the accidental death here, this is going to be guaranteed instant issue. It's within about 5 minutes, and you do take the payment. And so this is for anyone up to age 80, and typically for like impaired risk cases or for your people who may not qualify for other types of insurance, but they just want something in place just in case. We have different options here, so you can set that face amount to $50,000 as opposed to $500,000. You can see it's very inexpensive, about $10 a month. Client can go through the entire application process here. Going back, we have different term options. So the return of premium, this is every penny back for your term policy at the end of that policy guaranteed. You must go through the full duration of that policy. Non-medical, so this is a simplified issue. And so they're not going to require medical records, but they are going to take a script check, the MBR, and the MIB. And so based on that, they're going to do a graded benefit type policy, and so it's structured for up to age 50 for $400,000. As you're going through this, it's generally being used for obese or type 2 non-insulin dependent diabetics. The standard rating here for this product is very similar comparative to a standard or table 2 with other carriers. So this is going to be with Foresters. Going down, we can see traditional term. So we can see the different options here, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. We can have a slider here where we can adjust that total. We also have a needs analysis that's built into the platform. So if you click on this calculator here, it's going to allow you to go through a needs analysis to see how much that client may need. So it's going to be a mortgage balance, other debts. So let's just go ahead and do an example here. Let's say we have a mortgage here of 100,000, some other debts, so credit card, car payments, things of that nature, up about 50,000. We can show the breakdown here to see what we're doing as we go. This is an algorithm for children to college. So this is according to inflation and tuition growth. This is the approximate cost of the tuition for a 4-year university. And so if your child is 5 years old, 13 years from now, it's going to be approximately 188,000. It's intuitive, and so it knows an 18-year-old is going to be about 100,000, which is the current trend. This is that benefit for income replacement. And so the example here being that Jack wants to provide his spouse with 100,000 per year to maintain their lifestyle. Let's be a little bit more conservative here. We'll do 50,000 for 5 years. How much existing life insurance do you have? So maybe temporary term, maybe a temporary policy through work. Then how much do you have in savings? As we all know, typically a smaller number. And so when we look in here, we can see the debts, the education, that positive income deduced, and the need, and we came to 495 here. If we're going to look at the products for permanent options, we have final expense. So this is from 5 to 40,000. Typically your burial expenses. This does go up to age 82. It's guaranteed issue or simplified underwriting up to 25,000, and then simplified underwriting through 40,000. Guaranteed UL, permanent coverage. This is guaranteed premiums, guaranteed death benefit, and it's set to a time of 95, 100.
Technical difficulties, everyone. We're just making sure the connection. Trying to reconnect. Okay, looks like we're live again. Sorry about that, Daniel.
No problem. All right, perfect. And so this is that permanent coverage. I apologize for the delay here, guys. This is that permanent coverage. So we have final expense, guaranteed UL. This is guaranteed death benefit, guaranteed premiums. We have indexed UL, so that's your IUL. We can run that at target or also at a minimum death benefit. So a couple different options. We'll put in your monthly payments here, so you can select 100 to 50,000 as that payment. When we click next here, it'll take us into the product details as well as a PDF illustration for that full product. And so this is the full process for IUL. If you're familiar with it, it's very simple to go through here. We can put in how much per month, 10 pay, 15 or 20 pay, and then apply in minutes actually starts the application. So going back here, we also have the long-term care rider. So this is a UL policy with long-term care benefit. It's going to be 4% of the total death benefit. It's going to accelerate in on a monthly basis. And so the total product guide here is available as well. So that's under the illustration. So you can go through that whole process there and see the true product illustration. If you wanted to, you can go ahead and click apply here. Let's go ahead and go back, and we're going to go through just a term policy here. It's probably the most common one. This is that product guide for the UL long-term care. So it does have the full details here for you and your client to review. So going back here, we'll just look at a traditional term. Death benefit here is at 500,000. That's okay. So we'll just go ahead and move forward. So let's say we want to do this 20-year term. We can click next. At this point, we're going to see the different options. And so we are contracted with A and A+ rated carriers only on this platform. So companies with good financials and good credibility. This typically also helps with your client to be familiar with some of the names that you're bringing to them for options. We can see here that there is the principal option came back the most competitive for the term here. There's no exam required. So this isn't guaranteed, but it's the option to do an accelerated underwriting benefit. And so that means as you're going through the underwriting process, there's no exam, blood, or urine required. We have the weight details here on the client's guidelines for insured weight class. And then we go on up, we can see conversion options. So this is going to be available for every product type that we offer here. Let's say we want to look at American General. We can see the differences here in the conversion options. Conversions are important because very small percentage of term insurance pays out across the country. Typically, it's something that's a use it or lose it. This allows you to actually convert it to permanent coverage, especially if you have something happen during that time and you're not insurable. This is a very important option for your clients. We have the living benefits available. So that's chronic and critical illness, or critical and chronic illness, excuse me. And that's an additional $20 a month for Transamerica. And so if we just click on the Get Living Benefits, it'll automatically redirect us here to Transamerica. E-delivery options are important to note. These policies will typically come out about 7 days faster across the board. Going on down, we can see the other carrier options. And so I mentioned earlier with A and A+ rated carriers only. So we can see Principal, American General, Protective, North American, John Hancock, Prudential, Lincoln, Nationwide, some of your bigger carriers. Each of these are going to have details. We can see here SBLI, much like Principal, also offers that no exam option. We can change the details here. So say you're licensed in multiple states, you can go ahead and change that state here. If you want to change the product and pivot to a different type, so let's say 30-year term instead, we can select the 30-year term. It's going to automatically reappropriate those prices for us. Going monthly here, we can go quarterly, semi-annual, or annual billing. We do have an option here that shows that annual billing will save the client $19 a year. And so this is just an option, not too relevant on the term policies, but on permanent, you're going to see a pretty significant difference. So for the sake of time here, let's just say we want to go with this banner policy. At this time, I can go ahead and apply. We're going to put in the client's information. It must be a valid email address because this email is going to be sent directly to the insured to provide them with a link to finish this process on their own. So to get started here, we're going to take some basic information. Again, at this point, the client does have an email that goes to them automatically. And feel free to try this on your own link to try it. But it does go automatically. It allows them to complete that link or complete this application on their own. So this is that notification. It's just saying, hi, client, thanks for getting your life insurance quote. If you have any questions, let us know. And there's a link there they can click on. They'll just use their birth date and they'll be able to go through that process. We'll put in the home address for the client. And at this time, you or the client can jump in there and actually complete the rest of this process. I'm going to go ahead and go through it here just to demonstrate what it looks like as you complete the entire process. If you have any questions here, please feel free to respond out. Street address for the business here. Next, so who's going to own the policy? So we do have the option here if we're going to do key man or business policy, we can do those here. Also, if you want a parent-owned policy, we can do that as well. So who's going to own the policy? Let's say the insured here, and then at least one beneficiary. So we have the individual, a business, or a trust. Let's go ahead and go with the individual here. And let's say it's Mrs. Gates as my spouse. So it's going to automatically recognize as my spouse, we're going to live in the same household, and it's going to be optional for sensitive information. We're just encouraging the client to get through this process on their own. Any additional information we need, we'll reach out for prior to submitting to the carrier. Total benefit here. So we're going to put 100% to Mrs. Gates. If we wanted to add an additional beneficiary, we can do that here by changing the percentage. We have the ability here to add a contingent. So if you wanted to add in, Daniel Jr. or a child policy here, or a child beneficiary, excuse me, we can do that here. At this time, we have the income information. This is a pretty common time. The client may have a couple questions for you, but we do have the hoverovers here for examples of assets and liabilities and kind of what that looks like for the client. Over here, we can put in a fake social, and then we have driver's license number and state, and also birth state or country. We have existing insurance here. So this is if you have an existing policy through a different carrier and you want to do a replacement, or you have a conversion option through a term policy that's about to expire. You can actually do those processes here on the spot. So you can just select the carrier that you want to use. and then what you're doing with that policy. So is it a replacement, a 1035, altered premium, or a buy-sell? Clicking next here, we have banner underwriting options. And so this is Part A medical directly from the carrier, and it is carrier specific by state. And so you must make sure that as you're going through this process, if you're licensed in multiple states, that you are using the appropriate state for the application. We're going to go through some basic information here. It's going to confirm the height and weight, nicotine or marijuana, any type of financials. If you do say yes, it's just going to ask you for a quick description here. Fees, workers' compensation. So this is just your basic Part A. The Part B will be completed by the physician or can be completed by you as well. This is the last 2 years. Have you done any extreme activities and then travel outside the US or Canada? The next step here, we can actually add the payment information. So this doesn't automatically draft, but it does give it available to us for whenever that offer comes through from the carrier. And so here we can go, do you want to add that payment information? It's just simply the routing number and account number for that client. At this point, you will not be able to edit your application once you pass this step. So because we have the sensitive information for medical and payment, we do secure the portal. If you'd like to make any changes beyond this point, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to reopen the application for you, or we can make those adjustments here on the back end. Clicking continue, we can actually schedule our exam. So this is a true integration in real time with exam 1. And so we have a 45-minute exam will be scheduled, and this is real-time physician's availability to come to your home or to the insured's home to complete that. If you want to use your own physician or for whatever reason you can't do it right now, you can depict that reason here. But most commonly, people will go ahead and schedule here on the calendar. A confirmation call does go out as well as an email. And the physician's office will reach out 24 hours ahead of time to go through the procedures and what to expect. At this time, the calendar invitation was sent for the client to go ahead and do that exam. And so the last thing to do here is to sign the application. So you will be using our account for DocuSign, so there's no fees for you. And I can sign via email or sign as the insured. So I'm going to click sign now. It's going to open up DocuSign. All right, here it comes. Perfect. Thank you for the patience there, guys. And so here's the DocuSign document that will go to the client. If you click sign via email, it's going to send them that link. And so that's because you are not sitting there with the client. It's going to automatically email to their account that's on file. They'll just use their birth date and be able to resume the process. Click and continue here. We're starting actually signing. We have the deck form. It's going to ask you to create a signature, or you can use the one that they automatically create for you. And it's just a simple matter of point and click from there. It will pre-fill the location according to the IP address of the computer. And so that brings me to a good point. If you do have clients who are trying to apply for coverage in a state you're not licensed in, according to the IP address, it's not going to allow them to quote with you. So if you do run into special considerations, like someone's on vacation, feel free to reach out to us. At this point, we just signed that DocuSign, so the application for the client is completely done. You as the agent will now receive an email from DocuSign as well. You'll sign in using the last 4 of your social or your agent code, and it will allow you to sign as the agent. From there, it goes to our processing team. We're going to scrub the application, make sure everything's in good order prior to going to the carrier. Once it's submitted to the carrier, you'll follow up with us, and we'll follow up with you. And so when the carrier requests something from us, we're going to go ahead and post that as a task or a requirement for you. And then you can just simply complete that via email or upload a document to the portal, and we'll be able to continue on with the processing for that case. Logging into backlineins.com. This is going to give you access to your agent account. So this is everything that you'll see from submitting that case, overseeing the different requirements, communicating with the case managers directly through our portal or our internal specialists through the portal. From that point, it goes processing, and once it's enforced, the commission. So everything will be tracked and completed from this platform. So it's kind of a one-stop solution for you to quote, run the illustrations, and manage your downline. Scrolling down here, we can see some different details about us, different events that we're hosting here this month. So this is an ongoing schedule here for different webinars coming up, different testimonials, and then a list of carriers. Once you log in here, you will go into your own agency portal. So you can see here that it's going to be a little bit cumbersome at first for some, just because of all the text, but I'm going to show you really quickly the easy ways to navigate it. And so we start here with the home page. The home page is going to have everything you need for updates. So this is your notifications, any cases you're working on, or any clients you're working with, or any e-applications you've completed. Those will all be shown here. You can update your email preferences here, complete different quotes with us for different carriers and different client options. Also see your commission statements and your payroll. It's going to have a running total here, and you'll be able to manage your downline of advisors as well. So if I was to click on that, it's going to show me how many advisors I have and who's producing what. And I'll have access to manage and oversee the cases and quotes that they're running. Over here on the left-hand side, we do have our quote and apply. So I mentioned earlier that quoting tool that we went through in that demonstration is fully customizable. So you can add in your agency logo, change the verbiage there that's shown for the client, and update carrier preferences. So if you don't want to see certain carriers or product types, you can actually depict that and hide those from that link. We do have our commission schedules available for everyone. And so every product, every carrier we offer, we're very transparent with that part of it. So if you guys have any questions, we do believe in everything being transparent here. That's something that's been missing in the BGA space in the past. Different contact information. So this is your team. You'll have access to multiple individuals depending on what you need. Different quoting tools, so quote requests for annuities, disability, life insurance, or long-term care. And so I mentioned at the beginning that there's two separate components here. There's quote and apply, and then there's this back office tool. And so on the quote and apply, we have about 14 carriers depending on what state you're in, but we do have access to about 60 total. And so if you have special considerations or you're just not sure where to go with a certain case, that quote request tool is going to be very important for you to use in order to find solutions for your client. So an example here, we can just say what the client's name is, their date of birth and underwriting class, how long we need the coverage for, the location, the mode. And then here in the description, we can put the height and weight for the client, any medical considerations that we have, and any medications. So from there, we can go ahead and submit this to our internal, typically same-day response. You'll see back full illustrations for that client from our most competitive carrier options. And so this is our back office version of quote and apply, and something I'm happy to walk through with any of you. Please feel free to reach out. We can set up a follow-up webinar together. I do appreciate all of your time here and going through the platform and seeing our systems. I look forward to seeing you guys again here very soon. If any questions, please feel free to follow up. My email is daniel@back9, the digit 9, ins.com. And my phone number here, 805-413-7586. Looking forward to reaching out to you guys. We'll speak soon. Thank you.